My name is Cos and I am the Scrambling Dutchman. Well, this series is called The Ones That Got Away, and it starts off great because one is already getting away. We were meant to do a maybe tower rib and it was just raining here this morning. So yeah, we had to bin that one off. So it starts great. But there's one on my list for a while as well. That's on the Idwal Slabs. And of course it's the ordinary route. It's only a diff, slightly damp, but that will be alright in current conditions. It's a lot higher up. We waited for a while. It's been dry for like 2 hours now. So yeah, I'm all wrapped up. We're gonna twin rope it. We're bringing Rhys and Leon up with me. Let's get up and see what the ordinary route is really like. Today we're heading up one of the most classic climbs in the UK, the ordinary route on the legendary Idwal Slabs in the Ogwen Valley. It's a route packed with history that should belong on everyone's list. Climbing. The first ascent of the route was made by Rhys and Leon on the 23rd of August 1897. Yes, well over 100 years ago. First pitch starts off with a very long crack that runs all the way up to the first belay point. The crack can be damp in places, especially on a day like today. Okay, now slick. The crack is great fun and plenty of good gear and good friction on the rock. As you get higher, the exposure starts to build. I did cut a few bits out of the video, as the climbing is very similar and just one continuous crack. As you get closer to the top of the first pitch, there's some sort of chuckstone in the way, which makes for some very interesting climbing around. Oh, that's loose. Not long after the chuckstone, you will see some sort of ledge, which is the end of pitch number 1. Pitch number 2 starts off tasty straight away, with some very delicate moves on the slab. A slight left reverse will get you back into a continuous crack. This crack is very similar in nature to the first pitch, however I opted for
for a few times to go onto the slab. But the slab sections are usually short-lived, as you can't help but being sucked back in the lovely crack. Now climbing wise, it isn't overly difficult, but it's very entertaining and the exposure behind you keeps building. I did combine pitch number 2 with pitch number 3, as I had enough rope. And I managed to set a belay point just below pitch number 4. Now pitch number 4 I probably found a bit more interesting, as the climbing was slightly harder, although it could have been the wet rock. At this point I found the exposure was at its finest.
Is that fuck?
But the wet rock over here definitely made me more
it wouldn't
cautious.
Yeah. It is this for sure. So I'm gonna be placing. I'm gonna be trying to place a lot of gear here.
And yes, you might have realized we were on approach shoes as well. And I thought the friction was perfect enough to warrant that.
Hoorah!
Personally, I think climbing shoes would be overkill on this route. Eventually you come off the rib and end up on a grassy terrace. From the grassy terrace continue upwards, following several ledges. The climbing itself isn't overly difficult over here, however it can be wet and damp in places, so care is definitely needed.
Alright.
Eventually, the holly tree wall is in sight, where you can make your final belay point. Now gear wise, I was carrying a full rack. I had all my nuts and offsets on me, and cams from 00 to 5. Also, you might have heard I was carrying my hexes.
Just getting the lads up. We're on the ledge by holly tree wall. Was pretty good, I must admit. For a diff, relatively easy. Soloing, probably in the dry. Wouldn't do it in these conditions today. Or slick in places. But yeah, overall, a good little climb, definitely. I hope you enjoyed this adventure. If so, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. You'll see more of our adventures coming up. Thank you all so much for watching, and hope to see you on the next one. See you later, guys.